Mr. Carney, as you said in your speech in Davos, the best approach available for the world today is value based realism. But the value we humans see in anything or anyone is subjective, and hence we differ on the value of everything. Let it be commodities, currencies, companies, corporations, countries, or anything we want to put a price tag on. The value is the big question behind the fast changing realities today. The closing borders, rising walls, tariffs, wars, genocides, and all the uncertainties and chaos out there. We are tribal by nature. We seek connections. We make networks based on the value we get out of the pack we are a part of. Let it be race, community, or any other group. The world we see today is a product of the networks we made over the ages, and especially in the past half a century. And the world we live in is dangerously dependent on the networks we are not even aware of. According to Metcalfe's law, the value of a telecommunication network is the square of the number of the connected users. The value of any entity is its function and the purpose it serves. The most valuable function on our planet this day and age is networking. And that's where the wealth of the world is accumulating today. With the corporations, those are involved in manufacturing, programming, and implementing the required systems to broadcast the information over the networks. The news and media being uploaded from the data centers and servers, again, owned by the same people, the businessmen of the century. And now the quest is for the total control of these networks by any means possible. The weapons and militia being acquired by the regimes in power all over the world is for the same reason: control. That's where the owners of these networks are investing, making new connections, signing new deals when they get together at the dinner tables at the White House or lavish wedding parties in India. The future of mankind is being decided behind closed doors when we are busy understanding interest rates and inflations. Why the common citizens don't have any credible information and a say in the conflicts our nations are in. The diplomacies being practiced with the owners of the similar networks in Europe, in Asia, in South America, or wherever our leaders see a value. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what interest, investments, and commitments our government have with the networks like Amazon, Microsoft, SpaceX, Palantir, Apple, Google, Facebook, and what control or access our governments actually have to the data hubs and servers, even in our own countries, and the countless satellites surrounding our planet, keeping an eye on our countries and our families. We want to know who owns and invests in the sources and supply chains. Those are keeping me and my family alive, that bring us food, water, electricity, gas, or anything essential for my existence. We want to know everything about the credibility, reliability, accessibility, and affordability of the networks our lives depend on. We saw recently what happened in Venezuela and what the owners of these networks are capable of doing. We are not even aware of the weapons being used out there and the number of warships and submarines strategically positioned all over the world. We don't even know who is coming for who on the mobile military bases on the move in our oceans. We're not even sure if the leaders who are pushing the buttons on these weapons are even aware of the potential of the warfare they are threatening each other with and the extent of damage they can cause. Which government can guarantee its citizens anymore that they will surely be still in charge of their countries the next morning? There is no United Nations. There is no NATO. There is no one coming to the rescue anymore. And we have to accept we are on our own. Why are we not restoring the credibilities and efficiencies of these institutions and organizations? We really hope we are not just waiting till those armies show up at our front doors. We are already living very stressful lives. We have a million other issues to take care of. Those are personal, and we are facing those every year, every month, and every day. I want to know why my paycheck keeps falling shorter and shorter against my obligations, why the deductions on our paychecks don't have an equal return in value. Why can't we fix and improve our employment insurance system, much needed to survive in the volatile economies we have? We can establish a system that fills in the gap between the paychecks and inflation, a data driven tool that can help bring stability into the market. EI should not be the last resort for survival. A stable paycheck can solve so many issues our societies are facing today. Why does free healthcare keeps getting out of reach of an average citizen? Available healthcare is still better than affordable or even free healthcare. The days long waits in the emergency rooms, the months long waits for the diagnostics and specialists are signs of a broken system. Vision and dental, both functions required for a good health, are super expensive, even under a free healthcare. People are gasping for life and dying in the ERs when our already struggling doctors and nurses are triaging the severity of the pain they can't even measure, especially when someone loses a loved one waiting for their turn. Why is environment still a political issue? We should be worried about the air filtering through our lungs and those of our children. We should know what is in the water and the food we are feeding them. We have every right to know what are the compositions, sources, benefits, and side effects of every consumable good available in the grocery aisles and the food outlets. Every single thing available for our children to eat or drink has gone through a process that no one is aware of. And we can already see them struggling with the same healthcare system, sitting in the same chairs in the ERs and waiting for their turn. And we want to know who is responsible for what our children are being exposed to on the digital screens of their phones, the only and only source of information they have. We need to know what reality is being created for them by these super intrusive, impressively interactive, and ultra smart autonomous systems. With the AI models calculating stock market predictions, the future is nothing more than a gamble. Our kids will never be able to get out of the web of influencers, stock markets, and every kind of digital drug available over the internet. Our education system is headed for a total collapse, where getting rich overnight will be the only course our kids will be interested in taking, and the whole nation will keep getting poor by the day and by the click. And once in a while, for some time, I don't want to think about any of these issues. I want to take a break. I want to know the world, go see places, taste new foods, meet new people, understand other cultures, because that's the only time I can afford for myself and my family. But our executives who see no value in that decided to kill the tourism industry and raise the walls at their borders. It took us 2 millennia to achieve the connectivity we have today, to become one world. And once again, the open countries are becoming fortresses. And the kings and their courts are brainwashing their own people into thoughtless zombies and forcing them into an economic system made up of amortizations and compounding interest, where they will never be able to get off the hamster's wheel called a credit score. Tourism has become a privilege exclusively available for the wealthy and the powerful. The cities and the corporations whose lifeline was tourism are going bankrupt, and the elite keep scoring in the power games they are engaged in, from their golf courses, mansions, and private islands all over the planet. We accept it or not, but we are in a very critical phase of transformation, and we are not even aware of the dangers looming on the future of our next generation. And I agree, this is not a transformation, this is a rupture from reality, from humanity, from the normal, and it's a rupture from the concept of being a conscious being. If we do not fix this rupture today, our next generation will be owned and controlled by the people in charge of the networks they rely on. The system is determined to kill the thought because it is considered an enemy of the value based system. The values being sought in the oil in Venezuela, the water and rare earths in Greenland, the minerals in Ukraine belongs to the people of the land, not the corporations ready for a war over the game of monopoly. We do need a value-based system, but the value of the system should be as created by the people, not as determined by the people in charge. And above all, I should not be worried about all that anyways. I just need assurance that the people we choose as leaders of the corporations and the country are doing their job as prescribed. All I need is a sense of security and certainty for myself, my loved ones, my neighbors, and my friends. I don't have to worry about the diplomacies at play in the world because I know my interests as a citizen are being protected by our representatives out there to the best of my knowledge and for the best of our future as a country. And as long as we have a credible, verifiable, and transparent mode of communication between the governing bodies and a common citizen like me, I can give my 100% to my job, to my family, and to my community. I am a millennial, and we are the last generation who witnessed the world in its true nature before we got digital. And we are the last generation who can tell the difference between the reality and the simulations our children have started to live in. I'm concerned as a parent, as a worker, as a consumer, and as a citizen for the uncertain future I have for myself and my children. We all know that the rupture is real and the world will never be same again. The only control we have on tomorrow is the actions we take today. I see hope in Canada and those in charge of our future. But we all know that the efficiencies of the traditional ways of governance are shrinking and are being challenged by the ones in charge of the networks our country operates on. And this is a serious threat. We need to diversify the power sources of our governance so we stay functional, especially during the uncertainties and chaos. We have to bridge the gap between the 343 individuals sitting in the House of Commons and the 43 million of us fighting our battles at the front lines of reality. It's time to get connected with better, safe, and credible networks. It's possible. It's very much possible. We are destined to be a superpower, but not until we realize who we are, where we came from, and where we are headed. The future is ours, but only if we are agreeing to collaborate, if we are willing to acknowledge that the future is possible if we are together. Otherwise, there is no future. I want to be a part of the revolution that Canada is dreaming about. I have great hopes and faith in Canada and my fellow Canadians. I have faith in the philosophies we have and the paths we are choosing. I have decided on the path I am taking. Please help me take the first step. I make a humble request to you and all honorable members of our parliament. Please allow me to present my case in front of you. I want to talk on behalf of my fellow citizens who exist at the very bottom of the pyramid of power and never get heard. I want to be heard and given a chance to prove my worth. And Mr. Carney, you are holding the pen that is more than capable of writing the future, which our next generations will be proud of. It has the potential to change the course of history. You have a chance to change the direction we are headed as a nation. You have the power to set an example, a new model, and the future of governance for the world to follow. Please, don't miss out. I have the thought, the idea, the dream, and dedication. I'm not an expert like any one of you sitting in the parliament, but I'm an expert at the struggles at the receiving end of the system. And I'm willing to do anything in my power that can improve the quality of life for our next generation. I promise I'll be true to my cause, and I promise I won't disappoint you. I need help. We all need help. And if we stand up for each other, we start enabling each other, we can make the difference. Please, let me talk.